Hello my lovely nestlings, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to review the newest foundation from KVD, the Good Apple Serum foundation. I have been trying this for over a week with all the things that I have here in my house, all the primers, all the powders, and today I am going to give you my opinion if I think it's worth it, especially on an older skin. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Nikki. I'm from the Netherlands, hence the accent. I'm also slightly orcish, relatively vintage. I love spooky stuff, makeup, and being creative. Slightly orcish means I'm like my shirt. I'm green. I'm a light to light medium warm-ish olive, and the relatively vintage means I'm 47. I also have ADHD and I'm autistic, so I don't know. I'm a genie in a bottle. Never mind. What I also have going on in my skin is, well, I said I'm 47, right? So I have fine lines, I have rosacea, I have hyperpigmentation, I have, as you can see, I have tattoos on the side of my face. Not that I want to cover those, but you know, I have them. And my skin type is normal to dry. My driest part in my face is here around my cheeks, where I also have the rosacea. Yeah, in summer I can get a little bit, you know, when it's hot as hell and I'm sweaty, my face produces more oils. It's not that deep. But yeah, right now my skin type is normal to kind of drier there. I don't have any dry patches right now, but I can have them as well. So that is a little bit about my skin. Okay, my preference in foundation is a buildable coverage, basically medium up to full coverage that I can also sheer out if I want to. I want a lightweight foundation and I don't want it to dry out my face. That is kind of it. So let me kind of tell you a little bit about the foundation as well. It is the Good Apple Serum foundation. It retails on the KVD site for €48. However, I also saw it on Sephora UK for 38. So you know, I will link both places down below. Only Sephora UK doesn't have all the shades in stock. We have 40 shades. I do have to say, I think that the shade range is a little bit light. So I have shade medium 54, which is too dark for me right now. It's a little bit more, it's not really my summer color, but it is more towards my summer color. But the range leans pretty light. Just so you know, let me kind of tell you the claims a little bit. It says here, the Good Apple Serum foundation is a real mind F. Full coverage with a natural finish, transfer proof, extreme long wear with a lightweight serum feel. It covers everything from blemishes to acne scars, hyperpigmentation, discoloration, and more. You've never seen natural full coverage like this. It says here, shake well before each use. Use a sponge if you want to, and if you want immediate full coverage, use a dense brush. And that's kind of it. It's a glass bottle. You get, how many do you get? I think 30 mils, but the letters are so extremely tiny that I cannot read that. But yeah, it's a glass bottle. It has a pump system, and I kind of use 2 pumps. Now I do have to mix in, so my perfect winter color is the Kosas Light Neutral Olive 160. I have swatched them side by side so you can see the color difference in at least depth between shade medium 54 that I have from the Good Apple and shade 160 Olive that I have from Kosas. So I actually did use the foundation when I got it in. I used it on its own without mixing in a lightener. The finish is still stunning, but it's way too dark for me. So today I have to be places, so I do have to lighten it. So I kind of try to make it as close to the Kosas color as I could. So I also bought the concealer, the Good Apple Serum Concealer, and I have the shade 141, and this is also described as a full coverage lightweight concealer, and I've been trying this one as well. I also swatched this one against 2 of my Kosas concealers. So the lightest concealer that you see on my hand is 3.20, which is the one that I use in winter, but it is very, very light also for me. And then shade 5.5, which is in the middle, 5.50 from Kosas. It's more along the lines of my skin depth right now. So I hope that kind of helps for you to kind of gauge the shade that you need, because the shades lean very, very light. So Yeah, as I said, I've been trying this foundation for a little over a week. I've tried it with different primers that I have. I tried it without primers, without my sunscreen, so directly on top of my skincare, and also on top of the sunscreen as I have it today. So let me tell you a little bit about my sunscreen. My sunscreen is from Garnier, and I will link it down below. It's a European sunscreen. I don't know if it's available in the USA as well, but it just gives my face a little bit more hydration and a little bit more slip. It kind of gives me the same effect as if I'm going to use an oil in my skincare routine in the morning. It just gives me that little bit of extra moisture or something like that. Not moisture, but moisturization. That was the word that I was looking for. So that is what I have on my skin right now, and it works very, very well. I do have to say that I feel that this foundation wears better over time. So sometimes when I just apply it and I look up close, I'm like, but then when I have it on for 1 or 2 hours, it just feels nice. It just looks like nice, and it just feels like my skin. So yeah, what I'm going to do in just a second is show you application, how I apply it, and chat a little bit more there, and then I will show it to you in natural light, and I will also give you my opinion at the end of the video with the final check-in. Without further ado, we are going to go into the application portion right now. Okay, I have swatched the Kosas one here on my sheet, and I kind of tried to match the one from KVD as much as possible because the shade is way too dark. I have tried it on its own though, without mixing it, so I know how the foundation looks just its own color, but I have to be somewhere today and I don't want to have a very dark face. So what I'm going to do is on one side I'm going to apply it first with a brush. I actually usually apply it with a sponge directly, but let's see. And this is a brush from BK Beauty, the 106. I just got in. And I have been wearing this foundation for the better part of a week. Ever since I got it, I've been trying this. I don't have a primer underneath today, but I have tried it with different primers as well. I do have my sunscreen on though. This is a nice brush, by the way. So that is one side of my face. Let me kind of see how it behaves with the brush. Okay, it's nice. I'm going to go over it with my sponge. To kind of push it in a little bit more. But here's one side. Now I'm going to do the other side with a sponge. It's actually the way that I usually apply this one. Now, if you don't know who I am, I'm pretty literal in certain things. So when they are saying that it is a full coverage, I expect my tattoo to be covered instantly. And you can see that it's not. So it's in my head not full coverage, because it doesn't do that. Does that make any sense? And that is the way that I see it. However, I do understand what people mean when they say it's a full coverage, but in my mind it's not. It's not, because you can still see things through, right? So that's kind of one layer, and what I then usually do is I kind of build it up on my cheeks a hint, because I have the rosacea there. I'm very sorry for the sound, because I have an older laptop here, and it sounds like it's lifting off. So if you hear anything, it's that. But here is what the foundation is looking like. I can zoom in a little bit more and come a little bit closer so you can kind of see the way that it looks under the lights. this, so you can kind of see a little bit better, I think. So let me also add the concealer. Well, unfortunately, the concealer is way too dark for me. This is very much my height of summer concealer. I have the shade medium 141, which is described as a medium warm olive. I do really like the concealer though, but yeah, as you can see, it's too dark. So what I then actually do is I grab a little bit of my Kosas to lighten it up. And this is the shade 3.2. And this 3.2 olive. And this one is actually a little bit too light for my liking. So we kind of create the perfect color that way. I think I also have a concealer brush, don't I? I think I'm going to use this one for concealer. This is from Angie Hot and Flashy's line. This is the A506. I think I'll use this for basically concealer and eye primer. So here it is with the concealer. Add it and let's feel. Because it is, I don't want to bring it down my neck a little bit though. I am going to put on the rest of my makeup. And yeah, then I'll be back to show you what it looks like and kind of tell you what I put on top and such. The makeup look for today is complete. It's very simple. I did add a little bit of definition in the crease with this palette from Catrice, which is the golden nude look. Just very simple. So I used this one in the crease, then that one a little bit in the outer corner, and then that one I just dusted over the lid. In my inner corner I just put a little bit of the lightest shade. So very quick and easy. And I added some falsies and the lippy. So yeah, but everything is on. It has been sitting for a little while, and it looks very pretty, or at least I think it looks very pretty. It also feels very comfortable, and I am going to wear this for the rest of the day. I don't know how many hours I will wear it for today, but I have worn this foundation for, I believe, 14 hours or something like that, and it still looked very nice, and it didn't feel dry. Now I do have to say that if my face tends to get a little bit dehydrated because I forget to drink water a lot of the time, I feel it here on my cheeks. And if I feel that, what I can do, especially with this foundation, what I found works very well, is to spray over it a little bit with a hydrating mist or with a hydrating setting spray, something like that, to kind of bring a little bit of life back. And it, for me, very much works. So I will go about my day, show you what it looks like in natural light in just a second. I'm in my garden, so you hear a lot of birds and stuff. But here is what it looks like in natural light. And it is also a check-in. So this is how it looks. And also outside, let's kind of... my face is a little bit darker than my neck, but it is all okay. But it looks very pretty outside as well. It's gorgeous for filming, it's gorgeous for outside. I've had this foundation on for, what's the time? I think it's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And it is still looking nice. I've been wearing a jacket and it's a little bit chilly here, so I've also been kind of touching my face. I drank some coffee, but it is still looking very well. Don't look at my bags though, because they are apparently maybe even good. Never mind. I am in a silly mood. Anyway, yeah, this was it. I'll see you in just a few hours. I am back. As you can see, it is 6:30. Can you see that? It's 6:30 in the evening, and yeah, I've had a busy day. I kind of wore a beanie because it was cold outside, so it has worn away a little bit here, but honestly I think it's more because of the bronzer that's on top as the foundation. I have eaten, I have drank coffee, and yeah, this is how it is looking after 10 hours? No, more, 11 and a half, I actually believe. So yeah, let's zoom in and let me show you what it is looking like right now. It looks more glowy than it is in real life. It's because of the beauty lights. It has settled a little bit here. But honestly, almost every foundation that I have kind of settles here. But it's not noticeable when you're just, you know, looking at me and all that. I actually think that the foundation is holding up very, very well. And I'm very impressed by that. And what I'm most impressed by is that it doesn't make my face feel very, very dry. So let me zoom out a little bit again, so I can kind of don't have to sit hunched over. Let's also make sure that the lighting is correct. Like this. So yeah, it's actually what impressed me most is how the foundation wears and how it feels for me at the end of the day. I know that some people think it's a drying foundation. I don't feel that it is, or at least not for me. As I said, my face is normal, I think at least, and can get a little bit dehydrated, especially here, and I don't feel anything weird. In the days where I was not wearing any sunscreen and also no hydrating primer underneath, I still didn't feel like my face felt dry at the end of the evening. But I don't know, maybe it's my skincare. It could be. If you are very, very dry, I think that you'll have to prep your skin correctly. So you could think of maybe an oil in your skincare routine, or maybe an oil primer underneath here. But I think that if you have normal skin, you will like it. I think that if you have it a little bit dry, you will like it as well. If you're Sahara dry, I don't know. I think you'll have to prep your skin correctly, honestly. But I am very, very impressed by this foundation. And I have been reaching for this foundation ever since I got it in. It's just so easy to use. Yes, I have to lighten it up right now. And I have to basically make it a little bit more green. But I don't mind that too much. I just enjoy wearing this foundation so much. And I've actually talked to my friends about that. And while I also love my drugstore foundations, I do feel that the older I get, the more I gravitate towards more higher end foundations, because they just work better for me than the drugstore options that I have at least easily available for me here. So at the end of the day, do I think it's worth the pricing? I cannot speak for you, but it is worth it for me. And I'm just happy to know that I did spend my money wisely on this foundation. So if you kind of are a similar skin type as I am, if you also like the similar finish, I think you'll like it. But I do have to express as well that especially with products like this, foundations, a lot of factors are important. So skin type, for instance, but also where you live. So I live at the Dutch coast. Right now it's, well, you know, we're still kind of in winter. It's getting a hint warmer, but we're still in winter, so it's not very, very dry here. We always have some humidity here, and that can also play a factor. So if you live somewhere where it's very, very dry, it will probably feel drier for you as well. Does that make any sense at all? If you live somewhere where it is more humid, this will feel, maybe you feel it turn a little bit oily for you, or you know, you have to powder it a little bit more, because that definitely makes a difference. What I actually mentioned in the last foundation review that I uploaded, which was the newest foundation from Catrice, I said that I shave my face, and every time I shave my face in the morning and put on a foundation, the foundation looks stunning. What is kind of it for me is if you have, you know, a little bit of stubble like I have right now, how does a foundation behave then? What does it do around my facial hair? Because we all have that, right? And then especially here, this is always a control area for me that makes me see how fancy and how high the quality is of a foundation. And the first day that I tried this foundation, I did not mix it with anything, and also I had basically one or 2 days stubble, you know. And when I have a foundation on that's I don't want to say cheaply made, but not as sophisticated, I can tell that the foundation gathers around the base of the hair, and I can see it, and it looks like I have texture where I don't really have any texture. This foundation did not do that for me, and that makes it a foundation for me that I know that I can rely on. And we've had different weather circumstances the last week basically. I had different skin days, so some days my rosacea was more noticeable, other days my skin just felt a little bit drier, or it felt dry here and it felt a little bit more oily here. This foundation for me worked every single time. It doesn't matter how heavy of a skincare layer I have underneath. It doesn't matter if I use a primer or no primer. It doesn't really matter if I put my sunscreen underneath. It just works for me every time I use it, and that just makes me love this foundation so much. So even the Kosas one or the House Labs ones that I also really love, if I have kind of a funky skin day, they can look a little bit, they still look pretty, but not as good as they usually do. And this foundation, I've tried on bad days, I've tried on good days, it always looks good. And that is why I love this foundation so much. It's lightweight, it's buildable coverage, it wears amazingly throughout the day, at least for me. I can use it with primers if I want to, I can use it without. I just, besides getting the color right, I basically put it on and then I know that my skin looks good under the beauty lights, but also outside. And I am very impressed. I'm very happy that I decided to buy this foundation, and I already have the shade that I kind of need right now in my wish list from Sephora UK. Because I do have to say, while I paid the price that it lists on the KVD website, if I can get it for €10 cheaper, I will. So is it worth the full price? In my opinion, for me, it is. For me, it is. But I cannot see, you know, your financial situation. So, you know, if you can get it on a sale, or as I found Sephora UK for us here in Europe, it's basically saves you €10, I would do that. Obviously, I would do that. If you want to try this foundation but you're not sure, see if you can get a sample, because it's not a cheap foundation, is it? So see if you can get a sample in store, or maybe someone that you know has it so you can try it. And then don't, even if they don't have a similar skin color as you, at least you can kind of see how it feels and how it wears for you throughout the day. Does that make any sense? And that's always my advice with everything. If you want to try a complexion product but you're not sure, see if you can get a sample. And yeah, I think that is going to be it. Also the concealer, let's talk about the concealer as well. I really enjoy the concealer. I don't have to set it, but I can if I need to. So today I felt like I kind of needed to set it here a little bit, because this here, the lines I have there, it's where it creases always. It's not here in the center where I need the most coverage, it's there. I have set this concealer and it works. I've also not set it because I wanted to see how that worked, and I kind of had to tap it out a little bit here, but once it's set, it didn't move. It doesn't dry out my under eyes, and I love the coverage. So this is also one that I want in a lighter shade, because this is basically my summer shade. So I want a lighter shade of this as well. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed by this foundation. And then especially after my fiasco with the Makeup by Mario foundation, I'm so happy that I love this one, honestly. So yeah, guys, I think that is going to be it. I will link down below where you can find the foundation and, well, then also the concealer. Let me know if you got it. Let me know if my review helped. Let me know down below your thoughts. And then that is going to be it for today. Thank you Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section below. I'm going to wish you a fantastic day, a fabulous evening. May your foundation always match your neck, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye.